going, everybody? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Last Things Last podcast. We hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Say hello to my lovely co-hosts, MJ Niscoda and Justin Mandia.
Howdy.
Hello, everyone.
So, the NCAA bowl games are in full swing right now. The semifinal games are over. The final is set between Clemson and LSU. But I wanted to go around and just see what you guys thought of some of the major bowl games so far, some of the ones that we're going to see soon. There's going to be actually a pretty good game between Indiana and Tennessee tonight. Actually, didn't it start an hour ago. So I don't know what the score is if anyone wants to look that up. But that should be a pretty good game.
6-0 Tennessee.
Indiana hasn't won a bowl game since like 1991, and Trent Green was quarterback back then. So, it's been a moment.
That's a history lesson right there.
Yeah. So, guys, what do you think of some of these bowl games so far? You know, the important ones like UAB and
I will not justify that with an answer. Of the important ones, they have like Rose, Citrus, Outback, Sugar. I'll talk about those. Hey, I'm super excited for Minnesota. I thought they had a great year. They put one more win together. I think they're in the Final Four, but they didn't. But big win over Auburn. Harbaugh proved that he's still Harbaugh. He lost to a pretty depleted Alabama team. And last night,
Saban proved he's still Saban.
Still, absolutely. And then last night, man, the Georgia-Baylor game, that was a dirty hit out of bounds.
Very.
That was so bad. But got to give Georgia credit. They had, I think it was like 16 people not playing because of either injury or declared for like not going to play because of the draft type scenarios. So to put together what they did and beat Baylor, I thought that was super impressive. And then, of course, the other Big Ten team that needed to win couldn't beat Oregon. So Wisconsin being Wisconsin. But other than that, man, I thought the bowl games overall were actually pretty good.
They were pretty good.
The big shocker to me was the whooping that Texas laid on Utah. 38-10. They laid a whooping on Texas.
Yeah, they did.
So other than that, man, I mean, they were all fun to watch. I enjoyed it all. Still got some to go. But national championship, I think this will be a landslide win for LSU. I don't think it's close. I think Ohio State lost that game. Clemson did not win that game. Not even just the refereeing. There was 2 or 3 plays where they dropped basically touchdown passes. And then at the end, the receiver not knowing which way the route went. I mean, come on. But other than that, I think the bowl – I'm sure we'll talk a little more about the national championship, but I think LSU just looks so good.
I mean, I think the game of all the bowls was on Friday, December 20th, Kent State, Utah State. Look at that score, 51-41 Kent State. No one's talking about it. You know what? I agree with you, MJ. These bigger bowl games have been really, really good this year. And even some of the – not smaller ones, but like mid-major bowl games have been pretty good as well. That Minnesota game was so fun to watch. I enjoyed every moment of that game. You're absolutely right. Minnesota is one of those like couple plays away from getting into the playoffs.
So close, man. So close.
They've got the talent, and it seems like they're doing a lot better in recruitment because they've been gaining talent over the last couple of years. One question I had for you guys, what the heck happened to Florida State over the last 4 or 5 years? I mean, that program has just – now they're nothing. They were in the Tony the Tiger Bowl this year, and they lost to Arizona State.
Let Justin jump on that grenade. What happened to Florida State, Justin?
I want nothing to do with the Florida State topic. Like how you just rolled that under my door, and then you're like, I'm talking Florida State. I don't know what happened. I guess Jimbo Fisher left and Jameis stopped stealing crab legs and went to the NFL.
That's what I was waiting for. I was teeing that one up.
Yeah. Well,
he's going to get a 30 for 30 for his 30 for 30.
Dude, lucky for you both, I chose that just like in discretion instead of the other one that he was known for at Florida State. Anyway, Kevin would know all about quarterbacks and having issues in that type of arena. Woo! Pew, 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 pew. That's what you get. That's what you get for giving me Florida State.
I didn't give you Florida State. He did.
You were collateral. But the Florida, the Orange Bowl, was my favorite of the ones.
Yeah, Florida, Virginia was great.
Major. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I didn't expect Virginia to compete as well with Florida as
They gave them a run.
They did. It was a good game, and that quarterback for Virginia, he's I don't know. I don't think he'll be an NFL quarterback, but he's a weird, almost I don't know. He's a unique college quarterback. I like him a lot. So that game was fun. The Penn State game was actually really fun too. I was watching that one at Iron Hill, and
Dude, such a highest scoring Cotton Bowl ever, right?
it was gross. At halftime, It was like in the third. Was it 30?
Yeah, the final score was
29?
53-39 Penn State.
It was ridiculous.
There was a lot of offensive yards.
Yeah, they were like they hit the over at like halftime almost. I think. Maybe not, but yeah. Yeah, it was a wild game. But that is
one thing I'm confused are why did Notre Dame get such a garbage opponent as a 15th ranked team?
Because they're garbage, Kevin. That is why.
I think
I'm not saying that they're not, but I'm just saying they're 15th. They should have.
I think they got snubbed a bit. They could have played a better team than what they played. But I mean, it's fine. I guess
you know what?
Fine.
Like a Notre Dame Iowa would have been a great game.
Yeah, I think that would have been a better game than this one. But I don't know. But what I do know
to come out of the Camping World Bowl. What did you expect to come out of that?
Oh no, I knew it was going to be.
I expected it to be way closer and us to lose possibly.
No, I wasn't concerned about Iowa State, but it was one of those. I'll tell you what, though, as a Notre Dame fan, I'm concerned moving forward now that Ian Book isn't going to have 1/3 of his completions from last year with some of the new. I can never say his name right. What's his face? The tight end. He's going into the NFL now.
Matt.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 1/3 of his receptions, his completions this past season.
We're trash anyway. It doesn't matter. We can't recruit.
And that's the thing too. I mean, you're right. Like Notre Dame, we've talked about this before. They're so tradition based, but that's long gone. Like you can't
Who cares about tradition?
Exactly. You can't get people to want to come to your school based on tradition, especially when your tradition hasn't been winning since like Lou Holtz.
Or your big recruiting piece was, you'll be on TV every weekend, but now
right,
everyone's
NBC,
on TV every
everyone's on TV.
Yeah, you'll have NBC, but you can stream every game now, so it doesn't matter.
What's great is that also it's like it's the reason that no one other than Ohio State will come close to winning a national championship in the North anymore. Like Ohio State has the like swag right now behind it. Everyone else that you see in these playoffs are from the South, because why would you ever want to go and live in a winter like ever anywhere in college when you could just go to like Tuscaloosa and have just actual Tuscaloosa 10s, not freaking like Columbus 10s.
Okay.
I remember walking to class at negative 11 degree weather.
Yep. And loving life.
Like just looking around like, what are we doing here?
it got up to 29 degrees and you're like, shorts, definitely, right?
I mean, I had flip-flops on.
Yeah. But national championship though, I think it'll be a lot closer than what MJ said there. I think, I don't know. The fact that Joe Burrow put up 8 touchdowns,
Justin, your brother would love to talk about this game. How about Utah getting blasted by Texas, 38-10? Your brother put some money down on that game.
Yeah, he did.
Clearly said that like 5 minutes ago.
He did.
I had said,
did you? Oh, sorry. So, yeah, no, I thought that was the biggest upset out of all the bowls. But when it comes to the final, I think it's going to be LSU. Like you said, MJ, it's going to be a landslide.
I don't see how
it's hard to say
them.
that. It's hard to say that with a team like Clemson, but I mean, LSU is just insane. When Joe Burrow, stat of the year, put up 8, he was responsible for 8 touchdowns, which was more than Matt Ryan put up in that stadium all season for the Falcons. I mean, that dude's just on another level. That
really
team's
funny.
on another level. Yeah, isn't that amazing?
That's really funny.
So yeah, I definitely think it'll be an LSU victory. Real quick though, you guys know nothing about these teams, but I want your pick anyway.
Don't.
Who's going to win the FCS National Championship, boys?
Who cares?
Is it going to be Carson Wentz, North Dakota State, or is it going to be James Madison? I have James Madison.
Listen, Carson Wentz won't lose the rest of the season, and neither will his alma mater.
So there's a little bit
Bird
of
gang.
part there. There's a little bit I got to pick apart there. His alma mater may lose, but Carson Wentz will not.
There you go. That's right. That's right. Bird gang, MJ.
Bird gang, we're here.
Okay, yeah.
Did you know, MJ? Did you know I'm going to the game on Sunday?
I did not.
Jeremy and I on Saturday before the Eagles even won, we just bought tickets because they were like normal season prices since there wasn't going to be a game, maybe. And the only risk was that we were going to lose all of our, service fees or whatever. You lose like the $40 that it takes for them to be like, yeah, this is a ticket. They're like, yep, you bought one, $40, please. Like, what? But yeah, we're going to lose that. But yeah, they won. So now my dad and my brother and I are going down Sunday. Well, downside was we also didn't know what time the game was going to be. 4:40. I have to work on Monday. It's not going to be fun.
Oh my gosh! By the time you get out of the parking lot, it's going to be
midnight. It's going to be terrible. But I'm looking forward to it.
Lot.
Well, it's like the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and Bill Cole gets tickets 3 months ahead of time. His dad's like, "Hey, you want to go to the Super Bowl?" I was like, "Sure, let's do this." And then the Eagles, of course, make it and then win.
Yeah.
And he sat next to who did he sit next
Freddie
to?
Mitchell.
Freddie Mitchell. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he almost touched Justin Timberlake. So like,
yeah,
I'm not.
He took a picture. He had his
right
own
next
picture
to him. That's right.
That kid that Justin Timberlake was.
Yeah, there are Google images. If you look up Justin Timberlake in the audience, you can clearly see Mr. Cole and Bill Cole.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, I don't know how I got off that.
Moving on from the NCAA, the NHL All Star lineups have been put out about last week, I think. Again, I love what the NHL does with their All Star game now, having the 4 teams, little tournament going on, 2 Eastern Conference, team for each division, so 2 in the East, 2 in the West. So I'm going to read down the Atlantic All Stars here. Tyler Bertuzzi out of Detroit, his first appearance. What was that?
I think
Try that again. You want to try that again?
No.
Anthony Duclair out of Ottawa, his first appearance. Jack Eichel out of Buffalo, his third. Jonathan Huberdeau from Florida, his first. Austin Matthews making his fourth from Toronto. David Pastrnak, Boston, his second. Victor Hedman from the Lightning, his third appearance. Shea Weber making his seventh from Montreal. Frederick Anderson from Toronto making his first. And Tuukka Rask from Boston making his second. Do you like the lineup or do you not like the lineup? I think it's pretty solid. I think it covers a lot of exactly what's going on well in the Atlantic Division. I don't think they snubbed anybody.
Yeah, I was reading through before we hopped on here, and I think they may have gotten it right.
Surprising.
I mean, I'm not seeing any names that's jumping out at me that shouldn't be there, and I'm not seeing any who didn't make it that should be there.
Right.
No, man, I think this will be fun.
I don't know if this Atlantic team is a winner though. Out of those 4,
I think they're pretty good. Well, let's take a look here. Metropolitan, Matthew Barzal out of the Islanders making a second. Jake Gensel out of Pittsburgh, but he's hurt. He's done for the year, they said, so they're going to have to fill him in. Kyle Palmieri from the Devils, his second appearance. Artemi Panarin from the Rangers making his first. Travis Konechny, I can never say his name right, from Philadelphia making his first appearance. John Carlson from Washington with his second. Dougie Hamilton from Carolina with his first. Seth Jones with his third from the Blue Jackets. Braden Holtby with his fifth from the Capitals. Man, it's his fifth. That's crazy. And Jonas Korpisalo from the Blue Jackets making his first.
Whoa, yes. That's more than
But yes, I think the Metropolitan Division will handle the Atlantic Division pretty well. On the Western Conference, the Central Division.
Oh, this is going to be perfect.
The Central Division, Patrick Kane, Chicago, his 9th appearance. Nathan McKinnon from Colorado, his 4th. Ryan O'Reilly from St. Louis, his 3rd. Mark Scheifele from the Jets, his 2nd. Tyler Seguin from the Dallas Stars, his 6th. Eric Stahl, his 6th from Minnesota. Roman Josi from Nashville, his 3rd. Alex Pietrangelo from St. Louis, his 2nd. Jordan Binnington from St. Louis, his 1st. And Connor Hellebuck from Winnipeg, his 2nd.
I think this one's the best one
They
so far.
are going to kill everybody. And finally, the Pacific All-Stars, Logan Couture from the Sharks, 2nd appearance. Leon Draisaitl, Edmonton, his 2nd. Anze Kopitar from the Kings, 5th appearance. Connor McDavid, his 4th appearance from Edmonton. Elias Pettersson from Vancouver, his 2nd. Jacob Silverberg from Anaheim, his 1st. Matthew Tkachuk, look at that. Matty Tkachuk made it. Calgary, his 1st. Mark Giordano from Calgary, his 3rd. Marc-Andre Fleury, his 5th from Vegas. And Darcy Kemper from Arizona, his 1st. That's not a bad team either.
Is Connor McDavid leading the league in points right now? I thought he was.
Let me look. I mean, he's always in the running, so I'm not going to say he's.
I was surprised Kane was as high as he was. I think he's 8th or 9th.
The GOAT. It is Connor McDavid, 64 right now.
Oh, okay.
42 assists. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's that. He's having himself a year.
You know who the current NHL leader that's still playing is? Just by the fact that he's been playing since 97. Joe Thornton, 1,493 points.
All time.
Hold on, I got one more. Wait for it.
Why do we not have these all the time?
I just got this like a week ago.
Perfect.
Where did he go?
Oh, see it, Kevin.
Well, he had a one up me.
Jeez, he brought out a full instrument. Yeah.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
What'd you say there, Justin?
Nothing that needs edited, we promise.
I'll tell you that right now.
But
one of the West teams is going to win.
I think it's going to be the Central for sure. I mean, they only have one person making their first appearance, and it's the defending Stanley Cup goaltender. So,
yeah, kind of impressive.
I mean, St. Louis has they got 3 guys going. Who won it last year? Do we know? Was it the Met
or Atlantic? I don't know. I thought it was one of the.
It wasn't the
East
Atlantic
teams
because I know I was ticked about it, but
I don't know.
I still think this is the best All-Star weekend in sports. The skills competition is so much fun to watch. But yeah, no, I think I'm taking the Central. What do you guys got?
I'm going to take a few steps back. First, I'll go with the Central as well. Second, it is not the best All-Star weekend in sports.
Absolutely is.
It is not.
Hands down.
I think it's taking
People
over.
People have to watch it first.
That's true.
That does help.
NBA used to be, but the dunk contest sucks now.
It's because the next thing someone has to do in the dunk contest is a backflip.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I don't think is possible.
Dunk contest is rough.
And
I do like
point shooting's fun, but it's
their game isn't as good though. Their game is trash.
Yeah.
You're telling me you don't enjoy a 180 to 185 game?
That's what I'm telling you.
I don't either.
And someone gets a triple-double, and they're like, oh, this was so impressive, or scores 50. I'm like, how's that impressive?
Yeah. But how many All-Star MVPs does LeBron have? You're like, what? Why does it matter?
Yeah. All right, yeah. So, I'm going with the Central. Justin, we all are. We're all going with the Central here. That's going to be really, really fun. And when does it start? January 24th is when the skills competition is. So looking forward to that.
I keep looking at that Central roster. Oh my,
dude, it's stacked.
It's so good.
Absolutely stacked.
It's so good.
Yeah, that's just it's not fair.
What is it? The average person's been to the All-Star game 4 times? If I'm looking at this right, come on.
Yep. Basically, yeah, that's insanity. All right, so the NFL playoffs, we're going to get into that in a second. But first, the Pro Football Hall of Fame finalists have been released this evening, actually. And they are Troy Polamalu, Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, John Lynch, Edgerrin James, Richard Seymour, Steve Atwater, Zach Thomas, Isaac Bruce, Leroy Butler, Tony Baselli, Alan Faneca, Steve Hutchinson, Bryant Young, and Sam Mills. I honestly don't know. What's the minimum of people that they can elect?
I think it's 5.
Is there a minimum? Is it 5?
Okay, it's 5.
So,
if
gentlemen,
I remember them sitting on the stage, I think there was 5.
well, let's go ahead and pick what 5 we would pick for this year. So, MJ, I'll start with you. What 5 out of this list would you take? And if you have any reasonings for any of them, feel free to give them.
Troy Polamalu is my first take. I mean, just one of the greatest at his positions ever. I don't think there's any question that he should not be there. Reggie Wayne, obviously, I think he's top 10 in a lot of good receiving categories.
Yeah.
He did have Peyton Manning throw him in the ball, but then again, Peyton Manning needed him. So
they were one of the best tandems ever.
Actually, that list you read, man, I'd be okay with the first 4, Torrey Holt, John Lynch, and then I could swap out Edgerrin James or Richard Seymour. I would be okay with that. Just looking at the rest of the list, Zach Thomas maybe, but past that, the first 4 or 5.
Yeah, some of the ones down to the bottom there. I mean, like Alan Faneca, he was an awesome offensive lineman, but how often? Like, you need a lot of votes to be voted in.
Yeah, and they get shafted, man. I'm sorry, like they don't get looked at the way like a position player does. So,
you have a problem down there, buddy?
Down there, huh?
You're on the bottom of my screen. So,
Justin,
who would you take?
All right, so I take Troy Polamalu. Yeah, and then I would take John Lynch, 2 of the best safeties ever. I would take Alan Faneca for sure. I would personally. I don't think they will, but I would.
No, I don't think they will. But yeah, it's a good pick
because he's literally one of the greatest offensive linemen of all time. It's insane to not have him in there. So I don't know if Reggie Wayne's going to get in first ballot because of Peyton Manning, which kind of sucks. But like, I feel like that's just the nature of it. Edgerrin James probably.
Yeah.
And I'm having trouble with the 5th. Maybe Steve Atwater.
What about Isaac Bruce or Torrey Holt? Where are we on them?
I don't know.
They were an iconic duo.
They were an iconic duo for a few years, though. I feel like I don't know if it was like a real
greatest show on turf.
Yeah, I don't know.
And their checkout boy quarterback made it last year, so I feel like someone else on that team should too.
Yeah, my 5 would be while Justin's thinking about his 5th. I go obviously Troy. As a Steeler fan, especially just watching him, the stuff he could do was unbelievable. I would go Edgerrin James. I think he's one of the most underrated running backs ever. He was almost forgotten a little bit, like Frank Gore. I mean, he's like brought up now, but it's like these guys were they had great longevity. They weren't hurt all the time. They were able to put together a lot of yards for their teams. Alan Faneca, I would take him. And honestly, John Lynch. And then I would either take Isaac Bruce or Torrey Holt before I would take Reggie Wayne. Not because I don't think Reggie Wayne's going to be a Hall of Famer, because of course he is. But Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce have been waiting, and I definitely think one of them should get in at least this year. If I had to pick, I think I'd take Isaac Bruce first.
I feel like Bryant Young is a country singer.
Yeah. Steve Atwater sounds like one too.
Yeah. Bryant Young, Steve Atwater, and the Sam Mills Band.
that does sound like close very.
Sounds like a country lineup.
Yep. So who's your 5th?
Jesus, Justin. I'm so good at editing myself now. Oh
boy.
I feel like I'm gonna pick Tony Baselli as my 5th.
That's not a bad pick. Yeah,
he has a made man name.
Is that
odd reason? Odd reasoning, but we'll
go with it. It's an acceptable one.
I'm just telling you.
Odd, maybe fair.
maybe vote Baselli in. I don't know. Maybe you'll see a family again. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
You know, now that he says it like that, I completely see why.
Right?
Yeah. He'll be a first ballot now. He'll be on this ballot for that.
Hey, Baselli's the only one that gets in this year. You hear? Maybe your mom won't have ears. I don't know.
That's something they never went after.
Like what? Her ears?
All right, guys. So the NFL playoff bracket is set. The games are set for this weekend. Here are the games. We've got the Bills at the Texans. We have the Titans at the Patriots, Vikings at Saints, and Seahawks at Eagles. I love how pumped you are for getting slaughtered.
Oh, if we don't get slaughtered, Kevin,
slaughtered.
if we don't get
You're getting slaughtered.
if we lose by
You
less
have
than
no
10
chance.
points, you
No
gotta
chance.
wear Eagles jersey.
I don't have one, so you have to.
Got to buy authentic Eagles jersey.
I'm not buying. I'm not paying $300 for an Eagles jersey. But we'll get to that game. That's the last
Yes, we
one.
will.
Yes, we will.
Let's go ahead and start. Bills at Texans. The 5-seed Bills, 4-seed Texans. Texans have won 4 of their last 5 versus the Bills, but it's the playoffs, so we'll see what happens. Here's my thing. The Bills, the last time they were in the playoffs, were incredibly underwhelming, and they kind of have a really sad history with that whole 4 Super Bowl thing. But I'm going to go with Buffalo here. I'm taking them. I love this defense, and defense wins championships. I think that they can do enough to disrupt the Texans' offense, which is very high-powered. But I think they'll do enough. They'll stop the run. They've got that, they got Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson back there, but they're going to be able to keep that in check. And I think that they'll be able to limit what Deshaun Watson can do. So I'm going to go with Buffalo here. It's going to be a close game, though. This is going to be one of the better games this weekend. Going with Buffalo.
I'm going to go with the Bills, but for a weird reason.
Is it weird?
I think Josh Allen gets down into a dome and goes, "Oh, Moses, we can play without being -5 outside."
There's not 5
Great.
feet of snow. I can't perform under these conditions.
Yeah, I'm definitely against the defense wins championship things because the Eagles let Tom Brady throw for 530 yards and he didn't win.
Okay, that Super Bowl was a fluke in many, many ways. Not that you guys didn't earn it. Not that you didn't earn it. I mean, it was an odd Super Bowl, not a fluke. It was an odd game in many ways for how Super Bowls usually played. I'm not talking about your dumb Super Bowl. Can we just go on to make your pick?
Kevin, you need to learn some things. You listen to me right now. Now that we're
just pick for this game.
Pennsylvania. Now that we, okay, never mind. I'll save that for later. Bills Mafia for sure. Always.
Tables are getting broken.
And so are
and there's
backs.
fire. Yeah, someone's on
Kevin,
fire.
You insult that Super Bowl again, I'm going to stick my foot right up your.
It's gonna happen, and I'll be there to watch.
I'm scared to find out what part my is. All right,
Bills.
so we're all going with the Bills Mafia there. The number 6 seed Titans going to Foxborough to face the number 3 Patriots. It's nice saying number 3 Patriots. You got to take the small victories when you can. Nevertheless, Titans. I'm going Titans in this game.
You would.
Dude, Ryan Tannehill is having a career resurgence, and he hasn't shown any signs of stopping. I think that this guy finally, as a team, he's finally got a opportunity to do something in the playoffs, and I don't think he's going to take that lightly. So I really think that the Titans have weapons to be able to compete in the playoffs. So it'll be close, but I'm going with Tennessee. Tom Brady's done, man. He's done. Last year with the Patriots, he's not winning anything.
Patriots are winning this game.
Doesn't
until they're knocked off. Probably the Super Bowl. Until you're knocked off the mountain, you're still on the mountain. So, yeah.
Well, that's why they're called predictions.
But no, I think this has to me a 35-16 game written all over it. Patriots. I just don't.
Ooh.
I don't see the Patriots defense is still good. Yes, they gave up a bummer to the Dolphins. The thing is though, we're pretending like the Dolphins were the worst team
on that game.
Yeah. And we're pretending like the Dolphins are like the worst. They won like 5 or 6 games. They're not terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible, but
they've beaten
2 playoff teams.
Eagles.
They've beaten 2 playoff teams. Yeah. That is more than Dallas beat.
They beat the last 2 Super Bowl champions, by the way. Lest you forget.
They beat more teams with a winning record than the Cowboys did.
Yeah, exactly. They're not bad. So I think the Dolphins. I think the Patriots. I think the Patriots pull one out, and I don't think it's going to be close. And it's a weird time slot too. That second Saturday night game for some reason,
6:15. It's weird.
always is such a bad no. Not as bad as the first one. First one is always trash. Second one's like eh. Sunday games are the games that you want in the playoffs.
Fun fact: Patriots are 9-0 in home playoff games since 2013. So we'll see what happens. Vikings in New Orleans. The 6-seed Vikings, the 3-seed Saints. Saints are 6-1 in home playoff games in the Peyton era since 2006. And I'm going with the Saints because Drew Brees.
I'm also going with the Saints, but the Vikings have an outside shot if they can do 2 or 3 blatant pass interferences that don't get called.
Yep.
But no, I think the Saints win.
And there's a chance that happens.
Oh, there's absolutely a chance.
It's against the Saints, and the refs hate the Saints.
I think Michael Thomas has a big day.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he's going to go off.
Saints for me too, because Alvin Kamara, after fantasy didn't matter anymore, decided to start scoring touchdowns all of a sudden. So he's looked their offense has looked so good.
Dude, I tell you this every year, you just need to quit fantasy. You hurt players in real life and you just get angry.
And you try to pull in collusion, so there's that too.
Yeah, that's
I retired from our fantasy football group chat.
Yeah, well,
Kevin tried to get me to farv it and come back.
Farv it.
I have pride though.
Farv it. All right, and then the final game, the Seattle Seahawks in Philadelphia against the Eagles. It's Carson Wentz's first career NFL playoff game. Unfortunately, he's going to get sacked a bunch, and they are not going to win this game. It's not going to be pretty. I think it will be a 10 to 14-point differential in favor of the Seahawks. Here's the thing, before I leave it to you two Eagles fans. Carson has had 3 impressive finishing games here, but look who they were against. Those 2 last-minute heroics that they're talking about, the Redskins and the Giants. They are bottom feeder teams in the NFL. That division is garbage that they won. And the Cowboys, I'll give you that one because the Cowboys really shouldn't be as bad as they are. Eagles just absolutely walloped them. But those 2 games before that, those heroic comebacks by Wentz, you're going to need an actual heroic comeback in the playoffs. And he hasn't done that against a real team this year. So I'm not going to think that if he's faced with the same situation, he's going to do it this time. Especially, and this is playing in your favor. Well, not your favor, I guess, but you'd agree with this. You have no skill players right now. They're injured. They're hurt. You are limping into the playoffs because you have a garbage division, and therefore we're able to squeak into a playoff spot. Now, the lucky thing for you guys is you got a home game because you won the division. So that is going to help you, but you've got no skill players other than Carson Wentz, maybe Miles Sanders if he's healthy. And, I mean, if your defense keeps playing the way it has been, I mean, you could make some noise, but you have no shot in this game. Seattle's going to play off Russell Wilson. He's going to run all over you. With that, I turn it over to you two.
You done? You done?
With that true analysis right there?
Kevin,
yeah, I'm done.
I want, if they win, next week when I see you, I get to punch you directly in the gut as hard as I can.
I get to dip my –
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't get to do that.
I'm going to find myself some powdered sugar.
What?
I don't even know where you're going with this, but I'm not going to ask. Here's why they have a chance of
caramel corn.
Here's why they have a chance of winning. The Seahawks have not commandingly beat anyone this year,
including us.
They've won some garbage games. Let's go back.
Okay.
I'm just going to go back to I'll go back to September 8th. They beat the Bengals by 1. Okay? At home. At home, they beat the Bengals by 1. They beat the Steelers by 2. They lost to the Saints as they should have. They beat the Cardinals, but wait, we'll get back to that one. They barely beat the Rams. They barely beat the Browns. The Ravens beat them, as they should have. They barely beat the Bucs. That took overtime. They barely beat the Falcons, who are not good. The Niners, they played tough. That's a divisional game. The first time they played the Eagles, they only won 17-9. 17-9. The Eagles have proven, without a doubt this year, we will either play up to competition or down to competition. we played what was it, the Patriots, the Seahawks, and I forget who the third game was. We allowed like what the max was 17 points.
Yeah.
Our offense couldn't score. But then when we play garbage teams, our offense shows up. Our defense is nowhere to be found. So I don't know. They beat the Vikings barely. They have not had their most commanding win of the year was against the Cardinals the first time, but then the Cardinals came back and beat them. They have not won a game by more than 2 scores all year. So that is why I think the Eagles, if they make it past this round, it's not going to be good, but I think they can definitely pull this game out.
Are you picking them?
Yes, I'm picking them, Kevin. I wouldn't just spend that time defending them if I was going to go. But you know what?
People can defend their teams and still be realistic.
You had the Steelers going to the AFC Championship.
No. I told you I would say definitively if they beat Buffalo if I thought so. And they didn't beat Buffalo, so I did not say it definitively.
Yes, you did say definitively.
No,
you said
if this discussion. I will pull the tape.
Go ahead. If they can get into the playoffs, there's a realistic chance they make the AFC Championship.
If they make the playoffs, the way they were playing, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So here's the say that I'm thinking here. All right. I think that, like you said, the Eagles haven't beaten anyone really in this 4-week stretch here. They really haven't.
That's fine.
I understand that. Carson Wentz has led game-winning drive after game-winning drive, but against not great teams. That's fine. Saying that he hasn't done it all season, he led a game-winning drive against Atlanta that Nelson Aguilar dropped. He led a game-winning drive against Detroit that J.J. Arcega-Whiteside dropped. He led a game-winning drive against the Patriots that Nelson Aguilar couldn't catch.
Why is he still on the team?
There's technically like a few more in there, but that's like neither here nor there. He's had a really good season.
Can I clarify? I think Carson Wentz is an excellent quarterback.
Yeah, but the thing, I understand too. He doesn't have any weapons. You're right. He doesn't have any weapons. The only reason I think we can win this game, and the reason the Seahawks don't really scare me, is one, we played them earlier with a similar roster to what we have now and didn't do that poorly against them. It was Carson Wentz's worst game of the entire season, threw 2 interceptions out of his 7 for the entire year. Like, that one, that's a little bit of a difference there. And Wentz even said, give me some of those back. He fumbled it twice and he threw 2 interceptions. He's like, give me 2 of those back and we're right in there. So I like that. My other thing too is the Seahawks aren't exactly the healthiest right now either. In their offense, it just doesn't scare me. Like that's the issue. I think that their defense is good, but I think that offensively we can play call around their defense. And then defensively, they don't have any running backs anymore. Rashad Penny's hurt. Chris Carson's hurt. They're beast on their mode. They're on beast mode, and that other guy that actually
I hope he goes off. I hope he has.
What's that? I forget what that other kid's name is, but he looked really good last week against the Niners. I hope
he gets the Skittles knocked out of him.
But also, nice. The Eagles' run defense is really good still. The reason that Saquon Barkley even had any yards was because he had one big run. We stuffed him the rest of that game. Like, Zeke Elliott did nothing against us. Saquon did nothing against us this year. Like, the Eagles' run defense is good. So that's going to make Russell Wilson have to throw. It's a away game. It's going to be cold. It's going to be dark. It's going to be loud as all crap in there because – did you see?
Yeah, but I don't think the loudness or the cold factor is going to affect them at all. They have one of the loudest stadiums in football.
Yeah, but they
deal with the cold all the time.
Yeah, they have the loudest stadium when they're on defense, Kevin. Yeah. Not on offense.
Not for the offense.
There's still a pretty loud stadium the whole way around. What?
It's going to be crazy. And the thing is, that place is going to be rocking. It is officially the only game for the rest of the season because we can't have another home game. So it's already sold out. It's going to be wild. I just have a feeling that the Eagles can put one more together here. I think if they win this one, they probably lose to the Niners next week, and that's fine.
You know, the scary thought is that we almost played the Niners. We almost played the Niners.
My brother and I were talking, dude. We were watching that game, and I was texting back and forth with him, and I'm like, are we going to blow this and have to play the Niners? Like, are the Seahawks really going to win this game?
Just think about that, man.
Really, the refs just blew it.
The Seahawks should have won. Just think about that, man. There would have been 2 12-4 teams, 12-4, and one of them had to go on the road. Come on.
Yep. One of them had to come to Philly. Oh, I'm so pumped. But I genuinely, Kevin, you know this. You know that I'm realistic. You know that actually I'm probably opposite realistic, and I literally sometimes hate my team. At the beginning of this year, I literally said I had never hated a team.
I have given you a lot of crap for that.
I've said I've literally never hated a team more than I hated this team at the beginning of the year. Nelson Aguilar got hurt, Alshon Jeffrey got hurt, and all of a sudden some of the drama stopped happening. Weird how that worked. And now I like this team because they're a lovable bunch of freaking practice squad players. Boston Scott and Greg Ward are going to look like freaking Terrell Owens.
And there goes the realistic
Barry Sanders.
train. Kevin, the realistic train is pulling away from the station.
It's gone, buddy. It's absolutely gone.
All right.
I also
I'm just
on
saying,
record.
I think
on
Boston
record said,
Scott's going to
Boston
do well.
Scott, man, is just he's a spark.
He's
plug.
ridiculous.
But I've been on record saying I still will stay on record with this. Carson Wentz got paid way too soon, and if he loses this game, it confirms that he got paid way too soon.
I don't think it does. How does it confirm it when he doesn't have any skill players?
Okay.
What is he supposed to do?
I'm gonna say this. You can't use both arguments.
But you can.
It drives
Clearly.
me nuts where you're like, you'll defend the team in the sense where it's like, okay, we have absolutely no weapons, but I think we have enough to go out there and win. And then when you lose, it's like, oh, we didn't have weapons. So
No, I think we don't have enough weapons, but I think that Carson Wentz, I think we can play call, and I think Carson Wentz can carry us to at least close to a victory. I don't foresee if he throws 3 interceptions in this game.
Right.
If he has let's say
right.
Ben
If he
Roethlisberger first
blatantly has a bad
2 interceptions
game.
and 70 yards.
2 rings to 0, so I really don't care what
No,
you
but
say
you
about that.
know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
If he has 70 yards and 2 interceptions and it's literally his fault 100% we lost, then
Right.
I would agree with MJ. I'd be like, he's
Right.
not getting it done in the big
No,
game.
I totally agree.
If
If you
throws
got receivers
360
out
and
there,
2 touchdowns, and we
if you
give
got
up
your practice squad receivers out there dropping balls, I'm not going to blame
Right.
Carson Wentz for it. But you're right. If he throws blatant interceptions, then I'm absolutely on board with what I just said.
it just sucks because I can't remember a time in the history of sports that a town has had so much hate and or love for a guy in the same seat. You know what I'm saying?
But that's Philadelphia's mantra.
I know
They
but
will
this-
love
him
you when you are
specifically.
doing well, and they will hate you when you lie.
People, the fact that Nick Foles had 2 good games at the end of that season and won a Super Bowl, great, that was awesome. But everyone just forgets the fact that he put up a 6-0 loss to the Cowboys before that, and we literally lost the last 2 games of the season, and then the first 2 games of the next season he was trash.
Yeah.
No one really. Carson Wentz has been consistently good.
Nick Foles
when he-
has the
when
legend thing, though. The fact that he went in and took you to the promised land
Yeah.
and did all this.
And I'm happy
So,
about that. And
right,
he also
but-
couldn't even start in
But
Jacksonville.
that's
so
why
that's-
people are so clouded with it, because it's the legend of Nick Foles is so
Yeah.
it's a big draw to people.
Yeah.
But Carson Wentz is your guy. Why hasn't he done
Right.
it yet? That's kind of what
and
they
I think along with what MJ was saying with him getting paid early, I do agree. Oh my gosh, I'm coughing now. I do agree that he did get paid a little bit early, I think. But then I don't know. It's hard for me to really say he got paid early when I look at what the Cowboys are going to deal with Dak now. And they should have paid
I
him
think
last
Dak's
year.
good though.
No, but that's the issue. They
Oh.
should have paid him earlier because they could have paid him a little less like the Eagles did.
True.
Now he literally almost led the league in passing this
Yeah.
year.
He's going to command
not
the money.
pay him? So
Yeah.
you either pay him or he's just – why would he not want top 5 quarterback money when he's putting up top 5 quarterback numbers,
Yeah.
So I think that the Eagles almost kind of called their shot early and were like, we think he's going to be better than this contract is, so we might as well just give him the money now, and hopefully we don't have to pay him Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers type money.
Well, in other funny NFC East news, I love that Dan Snyder, while introducing Ron Rivera to be their new head coach, opened the press conference by saying, "Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody."
That was solid. I mean, it was only January 1st, so that's good.
I look at that, and when I heard him say that, I go, man, Redskins fans really do feel the heights of emotions. They're all excited. You got Riverboat Ron coming in. You've got this good football mind. He's going to help your team, and then he's going to bring Jack Del Rio along, and then they start the press conference. Hey, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
And they might get Chase Young on that defense. Oh, my gosh.
Dude, they might be a team to mess with, not to mess with in a couple of years.
Nah,
really think
as
that.
long as they have Dan Snyder, I feel comfortable.
True, but that's
Happy.
right. That's what I mean. Like the height of emotion, Dan Snyder brings everyone back down.
It's as an Eagles fan, it is really nice knowing that the Cowboys will never fire Jason Garrett for some reason.
Well, I don't know yet.
Maybe.
I'm still.
Or Jerry Jones will never fire himself.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how many more meetings are they going to have? This was the
Also,
third meeting
I'm
today.
gonna come out and say it. I think Jason Garrett took way too much of this blame. Way too much.
Sure, absolutely.
I think Jerry Jones overpaid the wrong people, and they clearly underperformed.
They underperformed for sure, but I think that's also why he's getting the crap. They're like, oh, it's the schemes because they didn't play to their talent level.
Oh, dude,
Okay,
give me Zeke and Amari Cooper on the Eagles. Please. Give me
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying.
Leighton Vander Esch on the Eagles or that Jalen Smith.
Vander Esch was hurt all year, man. So like,
Give me
you can't hold that
DeMarcus
against
Lawrence
him.
on the Eagles. Like, give me all of those players, please.
No, I definitely think there should be a fair amount of blame to Garrett, but I agree, MJ, it's not all on him.
No, man. He like every time they won, nothing was said. But every time they lost, it was all his fault.
Yeah.
Which it's
and that's also kind of like, if you're going to be the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, you already know they're the most hated fan base on planet Earth. They're the team that gets the most crap on ESPN from people like Stephen A. Smith, and it's all over the news. And so it's like, when you take that job, you need to kind of understand the fact that like your successes, unless you win a Super Bowl, are never going to be heralded by sports media.
Yeah, but they haven't won a Super Bowl in 25 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they also
against the Steelers.
It does need to be a thing. I think this year with Garrett, though, that like the fact that they, and again, I'm doing the same thing Kevin hates all the time. The fact they didn't beat the Eagles in Week 16, like you have Dak Prescott, you have Zeke Elliott, you have Amari Cooper, you have literally your entire offense is healthy right now. Put up more than 9.
There's no excuse.
But both of them.
Defense is so bad.
Wait.
More than
Besides,
9.
no, but besides Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper underperformed all year, and so did Zeke. I mean, he got his $50 million and slowed down, and Cooper didn't get
hung
paid.
out at Cabo, and it showed.
Yeah,
that did. Yeah, it did. Before we move off the NFL, do we think Jason Garrett comes back for another year?
I hope.
Yes, I think he does.
I think if it drags into next week, he absolutely is.
Yeah, the thing is, Jerry Jones needs to give up the GM spot. They're
absolutely.
overpaying the wrong players.
Remember when Al Davis would throw that around, and once he stepped back a little more, things got way better for Oakland.
Mm-hmm. No, man. I think Jason Garrett comes back. Like if it's next week, yeah, it's happening.
Yeah,
I think a bunch of coaches get fired though on that team.
Yeah. The thing is, though, you have to also look at when they're talking Urban Meyer. I think that's the one. Jerry Jones isn't going to pick a coach unless it's a splash pick. You know,
absolutely.
I don't think he's not going to go. He's not going to fire Jason Garrett and then be like, all right, like Todd Bowles, let's do this, or like Michael.
Right. What do you think? He either goes Meyer or Lincoln Riley?
I think he goes Urban Meyer. I think he goes Lincoln Riley, or someone that's in that kind of coaching talk that maybe go after like a Herm Edwards who had some success at Arizona State.
All I know is when I heard Freddie Kitchens got fired, I immediately just
what are we doing? What is happening?
Just
all I see is fire. Do we have to? What's happening?
It's the Browns are a dumpster fire. How have you not seen this?
Kevin.
Nope, not stopping it.
Playing in the background, but you can't really hear. Oh God!
And then they go and get rid of Dorsey. Like they owed him 2 more years worth of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Browns just, and I don't know if, because MJ wasn't on the cast, I don't know what his thoughts were, but you bought into the Browns, did you not, in the beginning of the year?
Oh,
100%. I thought they'd at least be an 8 to 10 win.
I mean, yeah, because of on paper, right? On paper, they had talent.
Yeah, they were just like the Cowboys. The Cowboys should have won 13 games.
But I do not think Baker Mayfield is for real yet.
I'm still on that train.
I don't think he's a good.
I like Baker.
I think
He
think
got
all
beat up
year,
a little bit.
all year they were trying to force it to OBJ so he didn't throw a temper tantrum on the sideline, and that's what happened.
Yeah, but he had weapons, is my point. Like he had Landry and OBJ to be able to get the ball to.
Landry had a good
He
year.
doesn't get the ball, he's going to break stuff on the sideline. So I think they were they should have dumped him for an offensive line and some picks. And
Oh yeah.
And I think if they
Eagles.
would have got a line instead of OBJ, like with Landry and Chubb, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we'll
we'll
get a
find
line
out.
that will be good.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. It kind of like you with the Patriots. You can't vote against them till they come down. I'm not going to vote for the Browns till they come up. So yeah, moving off the NFL, going into our last things last, boys. Also, Justin, thanks again for sending me that tweet. I'm not a big fan of Le'Veon Bell, but that Le'Veon Bell tweet when Adam Gase got asked the question, "Hey, do you want Le'Veon Bell back next year?" I mean, that's not my decision.
Did you see that
Dude?
one?
Oh, it's so good.
It was just like, it's not my decision whether Le'Veon Bell comes back or something. And Le'Veon Bell retweeted it with a gif of Michael Scott just sitting blinking.
Just like,
I
was like, dude, Adam Gase is the worst. But yeah. So MJ, what's your last things last for this week?
I'm going to go with the hiring of Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio, that the Redskins next year finish at least second in the NFC East.
Whoa.
And within 3 years win the NFC East.
I'm with you on the 3 years for sure.
They're going to build from the defense first. And they already have a great defensive line. So if they can add Chase Young, which is horrifying as an Eagles fan, if they add him, and then, I think Rivera spends the time with Haskins. I really do. I mean, I think he's very similar, style of Cam Newton. Look what he's able to do with him. And Scary Terry, had a great rookie year. They can add another wide receiver or two. I think with good coaching and good culture, that's the one thing. The one thing that could break this is I don't know how much control Ron Rivera got. Ron Rivera got. Yeah. I don't know if he went to Snyder and said, if I run this is my show. Or
he seems like that kind of guy, though. Like he seems like, let me do my thing.
If he did get the keys to the castle, again, I stick with what I say. Yeah. I think they're going to immediately be better than the Giants next year. And the Cowboys, if they keep Garrett, I think the Skins will finish second. Just because if the Eagles can put together a healthy roster, they're going to be competitive.
Yeah. Justin,
apparently, even if they can't.
I don't know why we're winning or how.
Yeah, no. I was team with what like Kevin was saying. I was literally team when they were, what were they, 5-7, 5-8, or 5-7, yeah. I wanted them literally to lose out. I just wanted to be 5-11. I wanted to get a good draft pick. And then they just started winning consistently. And then by the time you get to, 8-7, it's like, well, we might as well just win then. Like, if we're going to do this. But, no, my last thing's last. It's –
say it. I think I know what it is. Just say it.
No, it's making me – it's going to make me cry. It's going to make me sad. Dude.
Is it not baseball?
I can't believe we made it through 17 weeks of the NFL season. It's just already over. It makes me sad. But some things that I think that we learned from this NFL season is that this was one of the first seasons on record that I can think of that no team ever was good ever. I stand by that. No team's good. I stand by the fact that whoever wins the Super Bowl will not be good. But my real last things last is I'm excited this season to see what way the NFL somehow screws the Saints out of we all know it's going to happen. It's been two straight years. They've got real bent, and it's going to happen again. And it's just going to be more and more creative. I think that it's going to be some type of weird inception thing where another team gets screwed, and then that means that the Saints have to play in a different place, and then they get screwed by proxy. I'm just really excited to see what way the Saints get screwed this year.
I think that's a great take because it's going to happen.
Just how is it going to happen?
My last things last is that by 2022, 2023 at the latest, the Chicago White Sox will win the World Series. They have control over the following players. Luis Robert through 2027, Eloy Jimenez through 2026, Tim Anderson through 2024, Lucas Giolito through 2023, Yohan Moncada through 2023, Yasmani Grandal and Dallas Keuchel through 2023, These guys have done their homework quietly the last 4 or so years, bringing up really good players, trading for some unknown minor leaguers to groom that have become really, really good. And I like what Jeff Passan said about it. He said, the point in all this is if everything falls right, this has a chance to be a very sustained run for the Chicago White Sox, not like the 2005 one and done that they had. But, of course, this is baseball, so everything will have to fall into place. But I do think by 2022, if there's no major injuries and this stays the course, the White Sox are going to be World Series champions.
That would mean that the Phillies would have to not win a World Series, which is weird because they're winning the next 15.
You
need to shut up.
You are very misled.
Not one, not two.
Yeah, we're going the LeBron route? Oh, boy. So we'll make it lose. We'll win 2, and then Harper will go, you know what? I got to go back to Washington and get them one.
No. We'll win 1, and then, Real Muto will save our season, and then we'll win another one.
Oh, dude, I still don't think the Phillies go above 500 this year. They still haven't done anything.
They haven't made any big moves lately, and you're right. They need to. Their pitching is what's going to end up killing them. They have the fielding and they have the hitting. They just need to get the pitchers.
And I think the Angels are.
I hope they re-sign Cole Calhoun because if they add him back,
jump.
Woo,
They're going to make a big
wasting
jump.
Mike Trout's career.
Dude, getting Anthony Rendon for the money in the years that they did, they're
Philly
the
should have brought Trout home.
Absolutely.
Philly still should bring Trout home. They should trade away half the team.
And Trout's got a pretty cushy deal out there in L.A. I don't think he wants to go anywhere.
We'll inherit the deal. Who cares?
You can't. You just paid Bryce Harper $330 million.
Kevin, do you know the amount of money they would make the first day just in jersey sales? Because first off, Trout loves Philadelphia, so they already like him for that. It's the first time I've seen a player on another team be liked by Philly.
I think I know Justin's answer to this, but do we think baseball should have a salary cap?
Yeah. Yes. Because obviously, right? Because, get in the 19th century.
I think it's kind of fun, dude.
I don't think it does.
It's like the Wild West, man.
If it was literally buying everything, the Yankees would win every year, and they're not going to. They overpaid Cole, and they're not going to win next year.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, what baseball should do is allow teams to have cameras, have trash cans, have baseball bats, and make noise.
And steroids.
I'm excited to see what that punishment's going to be. All right.
Why is that still not – I'm sorry, before we – why is it still not announced? We know it happened.
Manfred said he's going to wait till the spring.
Jesus.
Manfred.
What if the Astros go to show up to spring training and there's just a lock on their field that says, nope.
That's right. And a little Post-it note from the commissioner.
It's like Coach Carter when Samuel L. Jackson locked him out of the gym. Nope.
Nope.
I think it'll be more like Manfred wakes up that day and he's like, oh, I feel like I'm forgetting. Oh, no, crap. Oh, I didn't tell. Oh, no.
They're all down coming up for spring training. Hey, guys.
He comes out with a garden hose and is like, no, get out. Get out. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see the White Sox thing. You're right. I was in deep thought about that. I was like, you know what? But
now, if I would have said the Orioles are going to win in 2022, you would have shut your laptop, and pulled it out, and thrown it against the wall. Like that's.
Wait. Do the O's have to play past the All Star break? Yeah, then they're not going to win anything.
Classic Baltimore. All right, guys. So are we getting together this coming week?
I will. No? I'm going to try. I will know Sunday if I can come up Monday.
Okay.
Is Monday the day?
We could do Monday. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to be beat, but I could do it.
All right. Hey, we might have a fun live cast coming at you. We're not sure yet. Hey, everybody, have a great night. Yeah, we'll see you later. Bye.